sing.
Stay live. Okay.
If not, I could just send over my recording or stream of the podcast for
I
you to
only
upload
have
to.
less. I don't understand why the Ethernet thing is so loose on this damn thing. The port. It's the port itself, I'm pretty sure. It's not the cord. Ugh, okay. It seems to be fine still. Alright, now I'm gonna sound check myself. Dun, dun, dun.
Do 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 do. Wow 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 wow. Did you just record that?
No, I'm listening to myself real quick. Hold on. Okay, I sound okay.
I know I sound good hearing myself sing.
Alright, I got that screen up. I'm gonna tab out of that. Using my phone for the script. Because this is a professional setup. Professional.
Imagine being professional.
It couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me either.
Every stream is scuffed. Every single one. Somehow. Like last night, I was getting so pissed at that that fountain was pissing me off so bad because I was like, I've seen this done before. Why can't I do it? Now I figured out what I did wrong. So I gotta move the campsite and then hopefully, hopefully that'll help.
Also, I'm about to go out of the loading screen. For me.
Oh, did you turn off the whispers? Are you off the whispers from the deep screen?
Yeah, I'm back on. I'm here because it's 7 now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeet. But yeah, it's our podcast, Jake. Well, it's a play on words since we're going to the deep depths of the I should say the darkest corners to talk about crime and stuff. And since I'm a aquatic person, we just call it Whispers for the Deep. Am I right? And also, we tried so hard to find a cooler name and stuff, but so hard.
It was so hard. I had like a really cool name in mind, and I can't remember what it was at the moment, but like it was cool. And then we like looked it up, and we're like, God, somebody has it. No. So.
Yeah, that's what we did for like an hour. Well, almost an hour, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like an hour. No, it was like a couple hours. So we were going through like back and forth about
yeah,
it.
a couple.
Yeah. So. But yeah. So hopefully everybody's having a good week. How was your week, Sam?
Wild.
Wild. How?
Yeah. Pretty wild because we're practicing to learn to march a parade, and I have to push my section leader who's in a wheelchair, and I forgot. Crap, there's such thing as hills.
Oh, hills and wheelchairs really suck.
Yeah, so I'm literally pushing 160 pounds plus the weight of the wheelchair up a hill.
Oh, that
It was a steep hill. But other than that, besides like some stuff going on with my dog and all, everything's been chill and stuff. What about you?
We had an active shooter here.
Oh yeah, you like go on to that before we get into our little serial killer over here.
Yeah, I mean that was an experience. So we had a shooting that happened like a couple blocks from my house, and then sorry, I'm like going all over the place all over the screen, but that's because I'm adjusting things. But yeah, we had a person, persons. And there's like 3 of them, and they were shooting at other people, right? It was like some sort of gang related thing, I would guess. And then what happened was one of them got captured on the scene. Two of them fled. One of them got captured. And then there was a lockdown in my town for like hours because they're trying to find this dude with this gun. And then all of a sudden they just fucking gave up. And I was just like, don't you want to find the dude? Like, what are you doing giving up? Give up. Where do you think he went? And they were, I guess they think maybe he left completely. But I don't know. Because, like, I mean, the smart thing would be for him to leave, right? So that tells me that that's probably not happening. Um, because
Yeah,
it seems like killers make the craziest of mistakes all the time ever. So, but yeah, so that was my week. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. But
I
that was pretty
swear.
interesting.
Yeah, that is. It seems like we're both dealing with things that involve shooting. With my neighbor getting U.S. Marshal raided because of him hiding a murderer, and
So
then you
good
over
that happened.
here. I know, right? Then we have you, the active shooter and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. That was very fucked up. And I'm glad that like
This is another
I guess
example.
nobody I guess nobody got hurt. So I mean, that's good too. But
Like, this is another example of why vigilantes exist. Yeah, remember Phoenix Jones? That vigilante, that real life superhero.
I don't remember Phoenix Jones.
Okay, there's some videos I need to show you because that'll actually be an interesting thing to talk about.
All right.
Because Phoenix, but a summary is Phoenix Jones is like in real life superhero because he saw that he got robbed and he didn't want his kids to experience that, so he wants to clean the streets himself. So he kind of made a superhero group, kind of disbanded, and he got arrested for selling drugs.
Ooh.
That's a short story of it, but the long story is very interesting. Like I'll send you like a few videos about it because it is a very interesting story. I'm glad you mentioned something about vigilantes. That popped in my head.
Yeah, no, that would be a good one to do an episode on, honestly.
A fallen hero.
Vigilantes and stuff.
Yeah, ironic enough of me being a freelance detective. Some people will consider me a vigilante,
I suppose
but
PIs and stuff could definitely be vigilantes.
they're just legal
Yeah,
vigilantes.
they're just like legal vigilante. What bounty hunters, if you think about it, are also legal vigilantes because they are
Mhm.
licensed to go off and get the criminals. So, I mean, in a way, they are also licensed vigilantes because they're not cops. So, but before we start, I wanted to thank, and he's probably not here, and I'll probably thank him again later if he shows up. Um, I am raising money for Extra Life. Extra Life is a great cause. It's for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. They help kids that have all sorts of conditions, from just like simple stuff to like super rare stuff, cancers, stuff like that. So, for the months of November and December, I'm going to be raising money for that. I'm gonna stick the link up in my chat. I
I'll say,
probably
hit me
shouldn't
up.
get. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
hit
should.
me up with that link so I can put it in my chat too, so that people can
Yeah,
help donate to you. So
yeah,
yeah, the link to that is called donate to like support. Please
yeah. Because,
support this and stuff.
thanks to Jay, we are now at $105 out of 1K, which I want to reach by the end of the year. So we're doing good so far because it's only been like 3 streams, and I've
But you
already
you
raised
doing
a
this
hundred.
for the entire year?
No, I haven't been doing it for the entire year. Um, Next year I'm going to be doing other I'm going to be doing this like at the end of the year, but then like for mental health month, I'm going to be doing like the suicide awareness hotline kind of stuff.
All right.
Stuff like that. So each month next year, I'm going to be raising money for a different charity, except for like the last 2 months, I'm going to do Extra Life. But anyway, it benefits the kiddos, and
Help them kids.
they help family, help them kids. They help families that really can't afford stuff too. Like, so that's why it's so important to help the kiddos out and donate some moolah, some
Yeah.
cashola. So.
Normally on my streams, whenever I play horror games that involve kids, normally I say "fuck them kids" and try to yeet them. But this time, I'm gonna actually say "help them kids" and
Listen,
yeet that money to them.
if a kid's in a horror game, 9 times out of 10, you want to eat the kid because they're about to eat your brains or something crazy. So that's
Wait,
fair.
we're talking about them being in a horror game?
Well, that wasn't that what you were saying? Well, wasn't that what you were saying? Was like usually in horror games, like when you're
Well,
playing,
and
you
it,
eat the
yeah,
kids.
I know, but I was gonna make a joke like, wait, you have to just stay in horror to eat them?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like that one guy that like purposefully puts whole families in The Sims and makes them like die in the swimming pool. Because that's not a symbolization of psychosis.
Or back in my the difference between vigilantes and freelance detectives. I know, but it was just a little joke to lead it to talk about a short description of Phoenix Jones.
Okay.
It's just my chat and stuff. But yeah. But what's great but yeah, memes and stuff. Wait, what were we on again? I kind of lost track.
We're out of it today. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
I
It
I just
makes for a
got
better show, honestly. You gotta have some lightheartedness mixed in with all this crazy fuckery that we're about to talk to you guys about. So
oh yeah, because listen, if we had being serious all the time is good in certain situations, but with us with a podcast, we're getting our raw emotion and all. And in this case, oh, wait till you when we were talking about the early years of this killer, you're probably gonna hear some stuff from Honey.
yep.
And then you're just probably gonna hear me be sarcastic about some stuff, but in a respectful manner of sarcasm.
Respect. You gotta throw some respect on it.
Listen, yeah, with some of the stuff that we've read up on doing the research of this killer, I gotta be sarcastic because some of this.
It's wild. This whole thing is wild. Hello, Carl. Thanks for joining. How are you tonight? We're about to get ready to dive into this case. You
Or
know,
get yeeted into this rabbit hole.
yeah, basically, it's like thrown into a pit of despair, honestly, at the very beginning. It's. I'm so
Hey, just
angry.
in time for holiday sales and stuff. With
Oh,
Christmas right around the corner.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're just getting ready to start the podcast. We had an active shooter around my house this week. That was kind of crazy, but everything's fine now. Besides that, everything's been cool.
It's ironic that we're doing crime podcasts now. We're VTubers and we actually have dealt with crimes in real life that were near and all. So it's very the irony speaks for itself.
Someday I might tell the story of what happened to me as a kid. Because that was insane, and my stepdad was to put it bluntly, my stepdad was he almost murdered me. So
Maybe one episode we'll just have personal crimes.
personal crimes. Because
Yeah,
what way
because
to bond than other than trauma?
because I can tell you the two. I can tell you the two incidents where someone tried to murder me, and the time that my whole neighborhood got shot up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been in that situation before too, where I've been in a neighborhood that got shot up. It's crazy. Yeah, but like true crime is like a passion of mine because I wanted to be a forensic psych. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to do that now, but I I write about true crime. Does that count?
And this is my degree, ironic enough.
Yeah. Detective.
You have tried to become either a homicide detective, an international detective, or a criminal justice social worker.
Ooh, criminal justice social worker. That
That
actually sounds kind of cool.
it's a new branch because they don't want because some of the social workers that are getting hired are seeing people abuse this foster system and abusing kids and all. It's getting too much for them, so they're going to come up a whole new division for them. Which I've did some research into it, and it's kind of brand new.
Ooh, actually, that's kind of wow. I'll have to look into that. This is like right up my alley as a ex foster care alumni. I was in foster care system, and it is not great. It's not great. But anyway, speaking of not great parents,
Yeah, let's talk about this boyo.
this boyo that we're about to talk about unfortunately had a most violent beginning, and it led to, in my opinion, him being the nasty, horrible, heartless killer that he was.
I will say this fair warning: we might butcher some names, mainly me. So, and also, there's gonna be one part of the photos where I'm sorry, but I got to laugh at. Honey knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The photo I'm talking about, but that's just a fair warning. I will laugh at one part. I don't know if when we get there it's gonna be a serious part, but you'll understand why.
Yeah. Oh, Carl, thank you so much. We appreciate that you just turn us on while you're doing your classwork for some background noise, or even like when you're working out and you got us on your like
Yeah,
little devices and stuff like that. We appreciate that because this is really technically a podcast. We just have it on the Twitch platform because it's easier for us to get together because that's where all of our followers are and stuff like that. But eventually we're gonna start splitting audio onto Spotify and stuff like that, so it you could also listen to it like through Spotify and not have to worry about the video and stuff like that. But we appreciate it. Anybody that just tunes us into the background, like that's what I do. I'm doing work, I'm writing novels or whatever. I just pop on somebody doing some true crime, like the Casual Criminalist or Rob Gavigan or Bailey Syrian. So.
I don't listen to. I'll just hop on with a YouTube video of Rainbot, Lazy Maxerade, old corpse husband videos, or
Oh,
there's another person. What was it? Mr. Nightmare. That's what
yeah,
I use. That's what I do. I
yeah.
wonder if
I think we're
that's
a
where the
little bit
concept of
obsessed with
spirit.
true crime. But anyway, segueing segueing into the show now.
Hey, Black Friday sales.
Yep,
Am I right?
Black Friday's coming up, and when you think of the holiday season, you think of gifts, and with that Black Friday just looming around the corner, those last minute sales can be priceless. But with the internet sales on Black Friday being a thing now, in person Black Friday sales have dwindled. Sites all over the web, especially Amazon, thankfully killing off the day after Thanksgiving tradition for the most part. Most people choosing to stay home and shop than risk getting trampled by frantic customers trying to snag a TV or a toy.
Oh, trust me, I'm glad online shopping became prevalent because I still remember the one time a grandma punched me in the face for Pokemon Platinum.
I worked at Walmart for very many years, and
Imagine
I
going to
have
the store,
had
boyfriend.
my
Yes.
life threatened over friggin' TVs and shit.
I
It's not a fun day. It's
like it's not like having a sweet old looking grandma say, "You listen here, sonny. I'm gonna punch you if you don't get out of my way," and to get maced.
give me that Barbie or I'm gonna kick your ass. Sorry. I can't even picture that. Give me that. Give me that Malibu Barbie house. Maced right in the face.
Hey, Shia. The mystery today, we're gonna be. I'm glad you asked. Sit back and relax, and let's. I'll show you what case we're working on. So, but here's the thing. But what happens when these when online shopping becomes sinister, like when a killer becomes so bold, not only are they buying tools online and, well, the tools of mass destruction, but they're either so bold or just plain stupid to even leave a review, which is, to be honest, I don't even leave reviews. I'm not even a killer. But the product, but here's the thing with reviews and stuff like that, they're gonna get played off as weird or a dark joke, but no one could be that full of themselves, right?
Well, buckle on in, boys, girls, and otherwise, all you Neko memes out there, the ones with the tails, without the tails, whatever, because we're about to take you through the mind of a monster, a man who has no regard for human life, and was so cocky he thought that he'd never get caught. Yet it was that cockiness and oddly enough, his technological ineptness that would lead to his demise. Let's take the plunge into the case of the Amazon killer, Todd Colehep, with me, Hunnie B,
And me, Detective Sam Nudie.
on this week's episode of Whispers from the Deep.
So, excuse me, I had a burp for a minute. Again,
Are you
jeez,
okay?
how unprofessional. Yeah,
Don't puke
I'm
on
good.
stream. Don't barf on stream.
I'm not playing the plague on Dead by Daylight yet. But on March 7th, 1971, Reggie Tongu and William Sampsell welcomed a healthy baby boy, Todd Christopher Samsell, into the world of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Unfortunately, Reggie and William wouldn't last long as a couple, divorcing when he were merely 2 years old. There was a pretty ugly custody battle where Todd's mother came out victorious, if you could call it victorious, and Todd would end up living with his mother. And of course, yes, Florida, imagine. His mother recalls him in interviews as a young boy who loved to read the encyclopedia. Wait, what type of young boy reads the encyclopedia? Like, no. I try to stay away from that when I was a kid.
I don't know. Some
And
kids like that kind of stuff.
could it be me?
Couldn't be me either.
Not judging people who, as a kid, will. Me, I read those. Oh, oof. But, and also, at least, as a normal kid, read the funny papers to her. But the divorce did hit Todd pretty hard and begun to act out, lashing out in anger at the kids in his nursery school. When Todd was only 5, his mother remarried a man named Carl Keplop. I said
Colehep!
Colip.
Like,
Colip.
like when Stewie says cool whip. It was like
Colip.
Colehep.
Colip.
Colehep.
I did say fair warning, I'm going to butcher names because these names are whack to me. Who already has 2 sons from a previous marriage. The man adopted Todd as his own, and things were fine at first. But confrontation soon broiled between the two, and it is said that it led to meeting beings from Carl on the young boy. A boy who was already troubled enough, Caleb, had also admitted that his grandfather liked to use a cattle prod on him at a young age whenever he got out of line, and made a Facebook post appalling to the fact that it seems like everyone beats his ass, quote unquote, as a kid, including his own mother, which, imagine getting beat with a cattle prod.
It's terrible. I can't believe that like the parents didn't do anything about that. That was just acceptable.
But you gotta also remember at the time period, it was okay for a mother to just pull off to the side of the road and beat their kid's ass like it was
It's one thing to
Black Friday sale.
But it's one thing to like put your hands on a kid. Not saying that that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. You should not beat your children. But it's one thing to beat your children, but to take a cattle prod when they're like really young. I mean, because when I was reading this, and I forgot to put this in here, but he was only like just coming out of toddlerhood when the cattle prod stuff started happening. So I can't imagine how like scared this kid was. And this doesn't excuse anything he's done. It's just like this
Oh
kid's
yeah.
childhood is absolutely grotesque and terrible.
And
And
you'll
I'm and I'm gonna
oh,
warn you guys, actually, and I should have warned you guys at the very beginning. Trigger warning: there is talk of sexual assault. There is talk of abuse in this case, and if you are not comfortable with any of those things, then you might want to turn away.
yeah.
Turn us off.
Fair warning. We should always open up with that, but we were just bantering on and thanking people and talking about extra life. But yeah, this is a trigger warning, so this is like literally the PG of this story side of the story so far. So yeah, trigger
Yeah.
warning. There you go. But now let's continue into this cake, my dear sweet co-host, Honey. But it's been said that they often try to beat the attitude out of Todd, just like what we were talking about. You shouldn't beat it and stuff. Like beat the crap out of your child to get the attitude out. That's like terrible. Like I just got spanked with a spoon once that accidentally broke, and I was set straight for life.
Yeah.
But 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 words trying to get him to stop engaging in violent behavior, which yeah, feed violence with violence. Yeah, that's gonna go well in the future. Unfortunately, and a neighbor. But here's the most messed up part too, which people will get angry with. Which I know I'm ready for your response to this. But a neighbor claimed to have seen Todd's mother locking him in a dog cage and rolling him around as he was still in the cage, screaming. Like he was screaming in terror and crying for help. Like being thrown into a dog cage like this is terrifying. And honestly, this really pisses me off because like if you're a neighbor and you see that, I know it's a different time period and all, but common decency is to report it and help the kid.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Even back then, I just can't believe that the neighbor later on, after all of the crimes come out and stuff like that, they're just kind of casually like, yeah, I remember seeing this happen. I'm just like, what? And you did nothing? You didn't call anybody? Nobody said anything? What is happening? Like, what is some of these kids, I feel so like I feel bad for them as children, not as adults, for the things that they do. And it really plays up the nature versus nurture debate when it comes to serial killers and stuff like that, because there are a lot of people that say don't have the underdeveloped part of their brain that for impulse control. They don't, they have the underdevelopment, I mean, and they never hurt anybody, and that has a lot to do with how they're raised as well, because I mean, you can have a psychopath without ever having to go through any of this stuff, but none of this helps, that's for sure. None of this helps. So it's just sad to me, because a lot of these horrible people we talk about, these serial killers, they were once just abused kids that grew up into terrifying adults, and it's sad.
Yeah, instead of using that trauma to better themselves and do good, they project their hatred out onto the world,
Yes.
which is something you should never do.
No, you shouldn't. If you're got the I will say this, I'm a really big mental health advocate, and if you can get yourself help, I know that in the United States here, it's really hard sometimes to get help. It's hard to get counseling because it's expensive. And if you don't have insurance, well, then you kind of feel like you're
Oof.
screwed. But there's places that do sliding scale fees and stuff like that. Just do the best you can. If you can't, like, try to find some self-help groups or like a group of friends that you can talk with. Don't unleash your anger and rage and sadness and depression out there into the world and hurt other people, because hurting people is the number one reason why violent crimes happen. A lot of people just didn't get the proper help that they needed.
Hey, Mingo. And yes, or with a situation like this, and if he could have escaped and stuff, there's victim assistant groups
Hmm.
that will help pay the wages to help, like, pay either 50% or more to help you get the counseling you need. They'll even offer free housing for you, like shelters and all. This stuff I just learned recently, like our victim advocacy stuff. It's there to help people like in this situation, like he is getting abused and all. He has a way to escape, but it's not much advertised, so there needs to be more advertisement for it.
Right.
And also, it needs more funding to help pay. Like they could pay only so much to help you to get therapy and stuff, which I think they need more funding to help pay for that therapy
Yeah,
to
they
get you
do.
on your feet at least. Better on your feet, I should say. They normally do help you get you on your feet, but
Mm.
not the extent that most want to.
Arresting drug dealers doesn't really help because, unfortunately, the drug dealers that they arrest are not usually the drug dealers that are the problem. And I know that this is a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to say that they're not arresting drug dealers that are the problem. What they're doing is, unfortunately, because of, if we're going to get into it, but like the way that the social caste system is in our country, or just period, what's happening is, like, if we just target small time drug dealers, is usually the case, they don't go for the bigger ones. You're just targeting poor people that have no other source of income, and it's not really doing anybody any good. In fact, they should be helping them by allowing for more funding for, for better programming for like the
Mhm.
poor and stuff like that, to help them get out of poverty so they don't feel like they have to drug deal. And unfortunately, it has become commonplace for small time drug dealers to be the target, and the ones that are the kingpins and stuff like that, they're the ones that never get caught.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
sadly. And like which I get. And also, hey Mango, and also I agree with you there, Jake. I was pretty violent before high school too. But yeah, it's really messed up. But luckily, well, I wouldn't call this luckily, but he was sent for counseling. This killer we're talking about.
yeah. Yeah, they don't. Well, I mean, they arrest like small time ones, but they usually the big time people that are giving the drugs out, and like to the small time ones to sell for them, because a drug dealer always has to answer to somebody in some shape or form. They're getting their drugs from somewhere, unless they're creating them themselves, like meth or something like that. But usually it's like weed and stuff like that. um they're getting their drugs from somebody else, and they're not targeting what weed, in my opinion, only my opinion, is more medicinal than anything else. So I don't really count that, but like when it comes to like heroin, cocaine, stuff like that, there's always somebody else to answer to. So, and
Yep.
unfortunately they target poor people that have no other choice than to sling drugs to try to make ends meet, on top of usually working a regular job. So, but
Yeah.
to go back to your point about that program you were talking about, I think next year that we should do a month of fundraising for that program. That would be a good fundraiser to do.
I think so too. Help victim advocates and stuff. For one like we'll do like a long, like a big episode for Whispers of the Deep, and that for all that time we'll try to get do as much fundraising as we can for, like, I'll say that entire week or even more,
Yeah.
depending what we can do and all.
Yeah, I mean, like the way that I've been doing Extra Life, like today, I'm still um putting the Extra Life link down every once in a while, so in case I collect a dono. I know that it's a podcast today, so I'm not like hard promoting it,
Yeah.
um even just like even if we did it like on our podcast day and we really really drove it home on podcast day, we could still also link and talk about it during our streams or collabs, because we do tend to collab on and off.
Yeah,
So
whenever I don't get last minute changes
yeah.
to me. Because we were going to do something this Friday, then all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I remember there's something we have on Friday.
Yep. Yep.
Which sucks.
Life happens. Life
Yeah.
happens.
But also those are too late on my side. Uh this is a podcast. So we're all here just enjoying talking about a serial killer known as the Amazon killer.
Yes.
Which speaking of, let's get back on this topic.
Heck yeah. All right. So, in 1980, by the age of 9, Todd had been said to start undergoing counseling. His mother worried for him as he began to become obsessed with violence, becoming explosive and obsessed with sexual contact, which, by the way, is 110% her and her family's fault. I'm not even going to
I
like
wonder
try not to
why.
throw shade here, because she and her family were horrible, and that is why he ended up the way he was. But anyway, a bunch of psychopathic red flags began to crop up. Todd turning to taking his fury out on his own clothing, room, and defenseless animals, using a BB gun to shoot a dog, and even dousing a fish in bleach, killing it much to his delight, all because he'd want a gerbil instead. He was,
Wait, hold on. That was like goldfish in bleach?
yep,
What?
he put it in bleach and watched it swim around and die.
God. I, I'm just baffled at just the whole throwing a fish in bleach. That's a new one.
Yeah, he was a very disturbed child. Very
Yeah,
disturbed.
I could tell.
He was also kicked out of the Boy Scouts for being too disruptive, but they didn't really get into the particulars of what the disruption was. But I would imagine, like,
Probably something big.
given the fact that like he was very like angry and violent towards his schoolmates, I would imagine that that's around the same vein of what they were dealing with in Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
At that,
Because
oh, go ahead.
of
Sorry.
no, I was gonna say like with disruptance and get kicked out. If it only saying disruptance, then I would have got kicked out of Boy Scouts and stuff when I was in it before I quit for music because I was not the quietest kid.
Yeah. And I mean, Boy Scouts does require a lot of quiet and patience and stuff like that. Because I mean, you're doing a lot of nature stuff, and you have to be quiet while you're out in nature.
Rip me.
I don't think I could have
But
done it. I don't think I could have done it as like a Girl Scout or like a brownie or something. So I feel that. At that point, Reggie had lost control of her son, and he was sent for 3 months to Georgia Mental Health Institute by his juvenile probation officer. He cited that Reggie was unable to enforce limits and that due to his behavioral issues in school, he needed extra help. Todd was also repeatedly threatening his mother, telling her that he wanted to kill her as well as himself. When he returned from the mental institution, which really did nothing to help young Todd whatsoever, probably because it's a horrible idea to put a troubled youth back where they're being abused, but I digress. She began locking his bedroom door from the outside like he was a prisoner, to quote unquote, at night, to quote
foreshadowing.
unquote, protect the rest of the family from Todd and his unbridled rage. His bad behavior earned him the unsavory nickname of the devil on a chain from people who knew him and the neighbors in the area. You know, probably the same neighbors who watched the kid get beaten and tortured and stood by and did nothing. Then Todd did the unthinkable. He stabbed a classmate on the school bus with a pair of scissors, leaving his mother and their family even more in fear of Todd. And also, the kids at school were fearful of Todd. Not long after that, in 1983, Todd asked to move in with his biological father, William Samsel, after his mother and stepfather had separated. His mother initially declined, but when Todd tore apart his room with a claw hammer and threatened to smash her brains in, she caved and decided to let him move with his father.
Which is okay. It takes a lot because he was a what was he like elementary school, middle school when he stabbed this kid with scissors.
I would say middle school, because he was like
Base.
when he went to live with his father, he was like maybe between 10 and 12, something like that, somewhere in there.
I forgot the meme after the podcast, but because here's the thing, those scissors that they sell to kids and stuff, they're pretty dull. They can only cut paper. So him with the force to just stab someone's leg, the leg of all things, which is where most of the muscle is.
I mean, if he had caught an artery, that kid would have been done.
Screwed.
Yep.
Which it baffles me. Like when I had my hands on scissors, I'm like, this is dumb that I have to use scissors to cut paper. Why can't I just rip it? Not, this kid pissed me off. Yeet!
Yeah, no. It's
it
not a
baffles.
normal reaction, and it's definitely a trauma-based anger reaction, unfortunately.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not called for.
It's not called for. He definitely needed some anger management and behavioral, like,
He needed a lot.
therapy.
He needed more. He needed all the help that was in the book. Like, if you see a thick book that describes all the ways to help someone, he needs all those at this point.
He really did. He really did. And how nobody reported it, and how, like, yes, he went to an institution, but like I said, it didn't really do anything to help him, because as soon as he got out, they put him right back with the same family that was abusing him, and there was no way to grow from there. There was no way to grow from there.
They were dumb for doing that, but
that was very commonplace.
Yeah, sadly. Nowadays, people are smart about it, which I'm glad they are, because, like, ever since I'm taking these classes, I've just discovered, wow, the mental health world and in the crime world and stuff, what the hell happened back then? What, like the good old Dante from Devil May Cry. What the hell is this? Basically, that meme. But who knows? But back to the mother. The mother was thoroughly frightened. I don't blame her to be scared, because kid wanted to bash her head in with a claw hammer, and now stabbing a kid with scissors. Of course, she's going to be terrified. So he moved in with his father in Arizona, taking his father's last name, Samuel, for a spell, and looked like he was going to start anew. But like most of Todd's Kulip's life.
Kulips.
As soon as I was about to say, my throat just knotted up all of a sudden. I'm like, that's why I just stopped for a minute. I'm like, oh. But the darkness just seemed to follow. Though Todd didn't have to worry about being beaten, his father wasn't exactly, what can you say? The best role model? Either, but it can't be as bad as the mom, right? So, William Sewells was obsessed with weapon collecting. I spoke too soon. Weapon collecting, and the two bonded over it. Todd collecting his own weapons to show off. His father also taught him how to hunt and to make bobs. Okay. Father of the year, am I right?
Perfectly normal thing to teach your kid, right? That's already troubled and violent.
Yeah, like, fathers throwing ball with their son, teaching them how to make a bomb.
Yeah.
Just a normal bonding
activities.
Yeah, I remember when my dad taught me how to make a nuke. Just kidding, that was all a joke. and to help me bomb Bikini Bottom, but yeah, that's just a different story. Of all things, teaching a trouble kid how to make a bomb.
Yeah,
Bomb.
none of these people involved in his life adult-wise were smart, or they just weren't. They just weren't smart, and even though his father wasn't abusive, he was
He did the wrong thing.
neglectful and dumb, so, like...
Yeah. Like what Xiao says, I like his say bonding, more like bombding. Heyo.
Oh! Yeah,
God.
yep, you heard right. Bombs. Bombs.
Yeah.
Talk
But hey, the first thing I want to do is teach a child who is violent and trying to hurt people. How to be more violent and efficient at it. Am I right?
Yeah, it's the
So
best.
based. But although their hobbies together were very, very questionable. Oh god, I thought I turned off my sound alarms. That just blasted my ears.
Did you scare yourself?
Yeah, I scared myself. Okay, try not to use the sound alarms during podcasts. I forgot. I don't know how to turn them off.
Oh no.
So for now, but Todd seemed to turn his life around a bit. Working as a busboy for his father's restaurant, and then working for various landscaping companies to make money, yada, 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 and all that. But harmony wouldn't last long, you see. William Seffel's other hobbies was going out and leaving Todd home alone, dating different women, leaving Todd to fend for himself. Yes, leave the violent kid
All alone.
all alone while you're
Yep.
trying to hook up with some ladies. Like, listen, I know Tinder wasn't there back then, but bruh, do not dish your kid for a Tinder date.
No.
To the equivalent of a Tinder date, I should say.
Pretty much.
But he begged his mother to take him back, but she made up excuses as to why she wouldn't Mother of the Year again, leaving Todd feeling very alone. This brought the anger and rage back up. Todd had been able to quail for a while, and it would eventually hit a fever pitch, and his violent behavior would starkly escalate to the heights before seen by Todd. Oh, look at that mud shot. At 15 years old, Todd Kulip kicked it up a notch. His new target, his 14-year-old female neighbor who he had a crush on with. So, before I continue this, I know where this is going. So what do you do if you have a crush on someone? For me, pick on them a tiny bit, try to be with them and all. What would you do for someone you had a crush on, honey?
If I had a crush on somebody, I would, pick on them, try to play games with them and stuff like that. We are going to warn you right now. This is the point where if you absolutely cannot handle anything to do with sexual assault, you must turn away. You must turn away
Yes.
now.
So, to answer that question, we're all wrong. That's not how we deal with a crush. Oh, he came to the girl's door and he tried to lure the young girl out of the household, telling her that her boyfriend was wanting to talk to her in the alley. The victim had been babysitting her two younger siblings and told him she could not come out. Todd returned a few times and with the same request. You think like with the first time or second time, you need to go with something different. But she became exasperated and followed him out, not thinking anything was out of the ordinary. That was until Todd pulled out, a blue pistol out at her and dragged her to his house, kidnapped her, bound her, assaulted her before walking her home.
The craziest part about that whole thing, which I forgot to put in there, was that when this all went to court, because I don't want to forget this, because the walking her home was important. His mother was called in, and when she testified in his defense, she said that he's not a horrible person, he just is a very hurt boy, and basically that a real criminal wouldn't walk someone he assaulted home.
I'm trying not to laugh at this dark matter and stuff, but yeah, totally the judge will agree with that. Oh, yeah, he walked her home. What a good boy. Case dismissed, not guilty.
Exactly. It was as if she wanted to dismiss it and be like, oh, he walked her home afterwards, so that just negates the whole thing. It was.
Amazon killer? Nah. Gentleman rapist.
Yeah.
She raised that. It was all the parents' fault that he's like this. And she's just trying to cover her ass. That's what it's all about.
I feel that way. I feel that a lot of the things she does throughout this is just to cover her own ass.
But hey, at least the girl called the police immediately when she got walked home by this gentleman here. Despite, you know, as someone who got raped and stuff, threats and all, telling the police that he had threatened to kill her and the rest of her family if she did. Thankfully, the police were able to apprehend him without issue, and he was taken to jail where he pleaded guilty. Good. A plea deal was struck, and the assault charge was dropped, though the kidnapping charges were upheld. And he would spend the next 15 years in prison. Ah, that's crazy.
Choo choo.
Yeah, the train. I don't know why there's a train.
We have trains here too, still.
Yeah.
So.
It's insane. This is all crazy. Like, I'm baffled. I'm honest to God, like, baffled.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that, and this is really common, that assault charges, even today, will get dropped during a plea bargain, or they'll get a lesser offense. I am
Or
very
get bought
much,
away.
right, I am very much of the camp that, if you've done something like that, if you have done the R word, we'll say the R word, because
Yeah, our word.
the R word, to someone else, you have effectively messed them up for most of the rest of their life. A lot of people cannot come through it. Everybody's like, "Oh, you can just get through it." And for a lot of people that doesn't happen. And they end up with like PTSD and super bad anxiety and depression, and it ruins their life. And honestly, I don't feel that 15 years in prison was enough for him, obviously, because he just got out and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
We're just scratching the surface. This is
Exactly.
not,
Yeah.
like, okay,
He's
not
only
to underplay how terrible this thing
15.
is. Yeah, he's only 15. But not to downplay how terrible thing that happened to her, but this wasn't the worst thing he has done. Just wait. We'll get to the juicy parts. And also, we can either say R word for the thing or we can say great.
Yes. Well, grapes kind of sounds weird, so we could say
Yeah, we'll stick with
say
R word.
R word. And if you don't understand what we're saying, like at any point when we say R
Yeah.
word, then I will
Even
explain again.
though
But
I
um,
accidentally dropped it in the heat of the moment because
mhm,
I'm baffled.
mhm.
Which I
But
apologize for dropping that word, but
well, it's okay. I mean, like, cause assaulted is fine, but like some people like get like intensely triggered by the R word. So
yeah. So
assaulted
R
is
word it
better.
is. Yeah.
Assaulted or R
Assaulted
word.
or R word.
Yeah.
But God.
So yeah. So uh, unfortunately, they didn't take what Cole had been done, in my opinion, seriously. Even though the judge presiding cited that although the defense team had claimed they did not feel he would be a danger to anyone else, that he didn't feel the same way. he still only got the 15 years and got the assault charges dropped completely, which is insane to me. In fact, this judge presiding over this 15-year-old's case, 15-year-old Todd, he thought that Kohlhepp was a psychopath and completely unable to be rehabilitated at this point.
I
Uh,
wonder why.
well, because he was. A psych exam at the time was also conducted, showing that Kohlhepp had borderline personality disorder that had been left untreated. Now, borderline personality disorder can cause you to do a lot of things, and I'm going to say this right here, right now. It doesn't matter if you have a mental illness, it's never an excuse for doing awful things to people. And I know that he wasn't treated, but usually people with borderline personality disorder, I mean, they might have um, outbursts of anger and stuff like that, but usually they ain't out doing the malicious things uh, that he did. Just like people have misconceptions about like uh, dissociative disorder and stuff. I just want to put out there that borderline personality disorder is not a very rare disorder, and most people are not like this. So don't be fearful of people that you know that has this disorder.
Or any disorder
Or any
too.
disorder too, but just in general, I know that
Yeah.
this is the only disorder they talk about, but I really think that they needed to do a better psych exam on him throughout his life and after he did the crime. It doesn't seem like anybody really did. So, just so you know, borderline personality disorder people usually have it or not like this. While in prison, he was able to obtain a bachelor's degree in computer science from Central Arizona College, and he seemed to be doing a lot better. He was released in August of 2001 and went to live with his mother in South Carolina again. There, he worked as a graphic designer until he returned back to school at Greenville Technical College. After a year, he transferred schools to the University of South Carolina, upstate, and obtained his degree in business administration and decided to change career paths, heading into real estate.
Oh,
Bio.
that's the photo. I've been looking for photos. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're
I thought
fine.
this was his teenage photo.
Nope, this is when he first got out of prison.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Cause I see the spiky hair, and I think back then it's like, oh yeah, teenagers always had those spiky hair. So when I see you that, I was like, yeah, that's his teenager picture. I'm glad you actually got a real teenager picture, and not take my word on it.
Yeah, he is older. He's older in this picture. This is when he had gotten out of jail, prison, whatever, after the initial crime. And he had lied on his application in order to get his realtor's license so he could sell realty stuff. Hi, Snow Pixie. Hi, hi. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about the Amazon review killer. So, um, now, he lied on his application, and back then, I guess, there was a lack of adequate background checks, and he was able to obtain his real estate license in 2006. He was also able to build his own real estate agency and had over a dozen people working under his wing. All the while unsuspecting that Todd was a sex offender. So none of his employees had any idea that he was a sex offender, a registered sex offender. None of them knew. He had done so well, in fact, that he was widely recognized as a top selling agent in both of the Carolinas, um, both North and South. A few employees have come forward since claiming that he could get quite mouthy and would often get caught in his office perusing porn on his computer
What?
while he was working. So this comes out afterwards. With his newfound wealth, Todd Cole had not only obtained a pilot's license, which he's not supposed to have as a felon, but bought nearly 100 acres of land in Moore, South Carolina in May of 2014. Not long after is when Todd Cole went from disgusting sexual predator to cold-blooded murderer, something that the police wouldn't even realize until later on.
Oh gosh. Imagine watching porn that is baffling. Watching porn at work.
Even when I worked a normal job and didn't do writing as my job, you know, I couldn't imagine having the time to do anything. Like I worked a lot of retail jobs though, to be honest, and like you don't have time for any of that shit. Like you have hardly enough time to eat. They give you Walmart. You're lucky enough to get like an hour to eat. But like some of these retail jobs, they only give you like a half hour. But fast food restaurants or regular restaurants, half hour. That's all you get to eat. And then you're working a 12-hour shift and busting your ass. You don't have time for any of that. Like you have hardly any time to go to the bathroom. But this guy's like, and they're like looking at porn on his computer and shit. While he was, and this was said by not only employees, but bankers that he worked with had caught him on the computer with porn. Um, while they walked into his office to discuss sales. So he didn't really hide it. And that's another weird part about it. It was to him it was like watching a dumb YouTube video. It seems like he didn't really hide it very well. So
Yeah, imagine just walking is like talking about real estate, like just like hold on a minute, I gotta watch my daily porn. That's crazy.
yeah.
But hey, on November 6th, 2003, people were called to the Grimley site at a Superbike Motorsports, a motorcycle shop not too far from where Todd lived. The quadruplet homicide shook the community of South Carolina, South Carolina, and was left a mystery for a long time, leaving the families of Scott Ponder, owner of the shop, his service manager, Brian Lucas, mechanic Chris Sherbert, and bookkeeper Beverly Guy, and book and bookkeeper and mother of Scott Ponder, wondering what the hell happened, even though Colep was the reason disgruntled customers, according to Scott's wife, up over a stolen bike. He's never been questioned whatsoever, overlooked completely, despite his, sexual offender status and violent past behaviors, and the fact that he apparently dodges the cops' messages. Okay, if you're dodging cops' messages, that is a big,
Yeah.
big
And
red flag.
and to let you guys know, he shot all of these people all around the same time, one after the other, execution style, basically. Um, which I did not put in there. I realize now that I didn't put what he killed them with, but he killed them execution style, going throughout the building and ending with one of them outside of the building. So he kind of just popped them all off and went on his way. So, and the cops did not catch him, and Sam is going to tell you all about that.
Uh, yes, I will. So Scott's wife said of the shoddy police were, quote, they called him twice and didn't return phone calls to them. That's puzzling to me that he didn't ever call him back and that didn't raise, a red flag to them. Because normally if the police calls you twice, if you don't pick up the 2 times, they're going to come to you. So that is crappy police work on their end.
Very shoddy police work. I mean, they had plenty of times to figure it out over the 13 years afterwards.
Yeah. Just 13 years to run backgrounds and especially of those local customers, plenty of time. But the murders wouldn't be solved until the event that led to the end of Toph's reign of terror.
On August 31st, 2016, 32-year-old Kayla Brown and her longtime boyfriend, 30-year-old Charlie David Carver, suddenly vanished without a trace, changing both their lives forever. Kayla and Charlie were supposed to have dinner with Kayla's longtime friend, Lindsay Mason. The two never showed up. The plan had been for Lindsay Mason to meet Charlie for the first time, but that just would never happen. They just didn't answer her calls, didn't show up, and it was very strange to her. That was just the beginning. For days after, friends and family had tried to contact both Kayla and Charlie without any luck in getting any responses since the morning of August 31st, when Lindsay had finalized the dinner plans with Kayla. Around the fourth day of Kayla and Charlie's disappearance, Charlie's mother reported him missing, and it was another 2 before Kayla was reported missing by several friends and family members who were also worried. When Charlie's mom arrived to take a look around the home on her own, Kayla's car was there, but Carver's car was missing. Charlie Carver. Leading people at first to believe maybe they'd taken a trip of some sort and just not told anybody. But when Carver's mom found the apartment unlocked and the couple's Pomeranian Romeo without food and water,
Poor dog.
yeah, poor dog, the families both knew something was amiss. She wouldn't leave him. She wouldn't leave him without food. She wouldn't leave him without water. That was her baby, Kayla's mom, Bobby Newsom, told reporters. Further investigation showed that Charlie's work's CCTV had caught Charlie leaving work on the 31st, and it was the last time anyone had physically seen Charlie. Kayla had also last been seen by a different friend on the 29th physically for a different dinner date, but both had ceased communications at all by the afternoon they had disappeared on the 31st.
Okay. Now this next slide. I'm sorry, but when I saw the Joker and Harley Quinn when I first saw this, you can ask Hunnie. My reaction to it, I was laughing so hard. Because they thought a Joker and Harley Quinn meme, something like this, was cool. But before I go on and stuff, I want to read some of the comments on this picture too, because some of them are pretty crazy. It's like, where is Kala? And Charlie Day was like, who the fuck are you to question me about my girlfriend? And the cops are looking for you, asshole, and stuff like. That's kind of concerning if you're just gonna be like straight up like, oh, why are you concerned about my girlfriend? I hear that little chuckle.
I mean, well, because Kolip just wasn't very intelligent, and it just goes to show, like, when you read through all of these things, and he thought what he was doing was a thing, and it just was making it more obvious that something was wrong. And he thought what he was doing was throwing everybody off, but it really wasn't.
No, you did not go like, why are you so concerned? F off, F this, F that. Like, you don't do that, bud. That makes me more suspicious. But I just want to comment on that because that threw me off. But even though the two had gone missing, something strange started happening on Charlie's social media profiles. In the beginning of September, after the missing persons report were filed, the case was making waves online and on TV. Charlie's once quit Facebook began almost erupt with post after post, the first of which announcing that Charlie and Kayla were fine and they were eloped, and which was impossible as for Charlie was estranged from his wife and they had not yet filed for divorce. Ooh, spicy. Sounds like a a crappy romance novel at first.
A
What do
little
you
bit.
agree?
A little bit. A little bit. There was a little bit of drama behind the whole relationship between Kayla and Charlie to begin with. So yeah, there was a little bit of drama already in their mix before
Yeah.
Cole Hep came along.
Yeah, but here's the thing. People who knew Charlie immediately began to notice that the post seemed kind of off. That Charlie didn't seem himself. He wasn't typing like himself either. The post riddled with tons of grammar and spelling mistakes, which, to be honest, autocorrect would do that for me. Also, Charlie wasn't much on social media, and it seemed like someone somewhere was pretending to be Charlie. Posts were flying off the rails. The posters not only posting articles about a couple's disappearance, but violent memes and weird cryptic posts that being made. One of them read, "Some I dig holes in the backyard to keep the noisy neighbors guessing," which you can see on here. Got them guessing in the comments, which I want to read the comments. Is "I dig holes late at night when I'm drunk in the rain. It's how I work out. Not a good workout, in my opinion."
No.
And what is that what you did to Kyla and the real Charlie? Psychopath. Are you hinting at what you did with them? You know, it's sad that someone like you is using his Facebook page when his family and friends are worried about both him and Kyla. It's insane. Then we get to the next post, too. Another one, just a few lines to an infamous song, Hotel California, which is last thing I remember. I was running from the door and I had to find the.
It,
Which.
it's more than that. It's like it's the last few lines of it. Here, let me pull it up because there was no clear picture of the whole post, but I can pull up Hotel California. So Hotel California is a very weird and cryptic song to begin with. It can be interpreted in many ways, but
There's multiple conspiracies on that song just alone that can make for
oh yeah, for
good
sure,
content
for
and
sure.
stuff.
But the end of Hotel California, um, the last verses. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the Nightman. We are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. And he left that on Charlie's page.
Totally not suspicious at all. Like, why use the Facebook page of someone? That just brings out more suspicions. And another thing, like, friends and family tried to ask the poster questions, none of them believing it was Charlie behind the keyboard. Uh, and most of them were met with angry responses. One asked where Kala was, and the response was, "Who the F are you to ask about my girlfriend?" Sound like one of those high school, middle school boyfriends, like, "Oh, you're talking to my girl?" and stuff. Because that's what it sounds like to me. Not to like make fun of make jokes of what's happening, but whoever it was also messaging friends and family, trying to convince them that Kala and Charlie were fine, but their immediate family debunked it every time, claiming that it was not in fact the case. Like, here's this: where the hell is Kala Brown? Charlie, quote unquote, said Kala is with her husband Charlie. Why can't she have any contact with us? Who is this? She doesn't want to. I don't believe you. I know Kala. She's not going to just run away from everyone. You or her could at least let someone know she's alive. The people that need to know that they are okay know that. That is insane.
Yep.
how like he's posting on their Facebook.
Yep.
It's
And
just
it just gets weirder from there.
oh yeah, we're diving deep into this.
Deep, 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 deep. So, next, what happened threw cops off completely. Suspicions began to roll around that possibly Charlie's soon to be ex wife of 3 years, Nicole Nunez Carver, was responsible. Charlie and Nicole had met in Florida. They'd moved into the Anderson Crossing apartments together, but when Charlie and Nicole had broken up, Nicole had moved out and Kayla had moved in after her, Nicole finding a place in Rockwell Plantation. According to friends and family and her own Facebook and social media history, the separation had not been a mutual thing. A post had been made by Charlie's Facebook saying Aaliyah, 4-page letter, uh, and just that. It just said that, like name of a song, which is a song by Aaliyah, uh, that is about someone being in love with another person who doesn't even notice them or doesn't even care about them. And people thought that it was some weird way of Nicole's admission of guilt. This next bit is not really known whether or not Nicole did this out of worry for Charlie or worry for herself or just trying to get the heat off of her because she was being harassed. However, she got herself in quite a bit of trouble by impersonating an officer. Nicole had thought of something the police hadn't. And in my opinion, I don't believe that she should have gotten in trouble for this. I'm going to preface this because she had the foresight and the mind to do this. She went about it the wrong way. She should have went to the police and said, "Well, why don't we do this?" Not to say they would have listened, but don't impersonate a police officer. Let's get that straight before I go forward. Um, Nicole had thought of something the police hadn't, called AT&T pretending to be Charlene Etzel on October 8th, the lead investigator of the case. She began asking AT&T to pin Charlie and Kayla's phones. When she asked for the pins, Nicole hadn't even said the investigator's name even remotely right, calling herself Detective Charles Etzel or Etzley. I'm not sure how she pronounced it, but she said it wrong. AT&T were familiar with the Anderson Police Department. They called the department to confirm that whether or not an officer at the department had in fact asked for the information, as that wasn't normal protocol for doing such a thing. I mean, you have to go through a certain process. This left police to be even more suspicious of Nicole. But they had nothing on her other than the fact that she'd impersonated an officer and had in Facebook posts made it very clear she really didn't care that they were missing as people continued to harass her.
This is getting weirder and weirder as we go on. Like with us doing research and stuff, I kept on like leaning back in my chair. I'm like, what is even happening? Like, what was your reactions like delving into this?
Um, when we decided on this case, I had baseline knowledge of the case based on the fact that he had done reviews of like stuff he had used online. And that was all I knew, really. And then I dived into the case for days. This took me days to get all of the information compiled. And I have to say, I had to take breaks because this case was just
Did you
like,
take?
I mean, I've read about even worse cases than this, but this one was just, there was so much shit just everywhere. Just, it was all over the place. It just, so much violence, so much senseless violence. I had to take a break a couple of times while doing it. So, um, I just feel like this guy, this Todd Collip that went after these people, If he had just, like I said earlier, if he had just gotten the correct help, and if the neighbors had said something, somebody had said something, nature versus nurture, a lot of this could have been prevented, and that just seems to be the case in a lot of these cases, and it makes me so upset. Like, people, have empathy, care about your fellow people.
I know. It's yeah, because when I was listening to videos about this, doing research too, and finding the photos and stuff, I was like, there's this one body cam video I see in multiple videos, but I can never find it on its own of them confronting him,
Mhm.
and just his general reaction is literally like it's so cold, like
Yeah, Kolob doesn't really show any sort of remorse for anything he's done. He just acts like it's another day, you know. He just went out, got some groceries, popped off some people, ate some food, went to bed. Like it was a normal thing. Like he just, no, absolutely no care whatsoever.
yeah. I'm glad that we're on this case and showing people because most people don't know, like, only know the baseline, like we did at first when we first heard about this killer. But with how terrible he is, people should know, be like, this is what real, like, this is truly what happened. There's people like this in the world to be careful. Like, just like you, I had to take breaks. I'm like, because sometimes I'll just get lost at what just happened, or I'm just like getting dumbfounded. It, this is our second episode. And I'm already like, what have we got ourselves into? This is our second episode. I'm like, what have we got ourselves into?
I have to say that this case is like everybody's obsessed with like Ted Bundy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they're obsessed with like the prolific serial killers that we all hear about, whatever. But like it's these smaller serial killers that seem to have the craziest fucking stories in comparison to some of the other ones, like Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, like his family was very religious and stuff like that. They weren't the best, but they weren't smacking him with cattle prods and throwing him in dog containers. Like he had a relatively normal upbringing. Well, besides his mom having like some mental issues and like his dad having some alcohol issues, but they weren't really abusive towards him. They just weren't really good to each other. Uh, like it's crazy to me. Like the ones that are the most prolific are like because they did the things that were like, whoa, that's shocking and crazy. But then like the smaller ones to me always seem to be more shocking. You know? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but for me, it always seems to be the smaller cases that are just the craziest. And this one ends up being super crazy.
Yeah, like all these lesser known cases and stuff needs to be brought up more because they're crazy. Because all the popular ones are like fitted for people that are like you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like they're more streamlined and stuff.
Right. Yeah, the more mainstream ones. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But
But back on to this case.
yeah.
For about 2 months in total, the case went cold between their disappearance and the beginning of November. But after all, the police were able to find, able to ping Kyla's and Charlie's phone. So police went right out to Keplop's property, the last place the phones have been active. Another dumb thing he has done. This is like very sloppy, but
Very messy. Cole Hibbs is like very messy. Like he kept the phones. He Everything about this is so messy, so messy.
the
I I just don't understand. I don't understand at all. Like not to say that you should kill people, but if you're going to
no.
kill somebody, why would you not take every precaution possible in order to make sure that you wouldn't get caught? Like but he just doesn't seem to give a shit if he gets caught or not, honestly. Like, that's how I read Todd Colehip and his cold personality, and when they brought him in and he immediately just goes, "Yep, I did it." Like, he just doesn't care. He's just like, "Whatever. Okay. How long?" You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but nah, the police executed a search warrant. None of them were prepared for what they found. No, on November 3rd, officer went to Phillips' home on the 95-acre property. It seemed like no one was home, but some of them heard banging coming from somewhere and decided to investigate further. Next to a shed, not far from the house, was a screaming blue shipping container.
well, there was screaming inside the shipping
Oh,
container.
scream. Wait, hold on. Sorry. My brain just went oop. So let me actually rephrase that. But they heard banging coming from somewhere, investigate further. Next to the shed, not so far, was a huge blue shipping container, and coming from the inside was banging and the screams of a woman crying for help. There. My brain just went gah, because it's crazy. And like, here's that blue container.
Yep.
Because this case is like melting my brain.
Yeah, it's pretty
'Cause
crazy.
And I didn't know, like, I thought it was just gonna be like, it's just a unique case because this dude reviewed his products and stuff, but no, we got ourselves into a rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole of epic proportions. Yeah.
Yeah. Using a rotary saw, the police cut through the 5 locks that kept the container shut, walked past a buttload of ammunition and food stockpiled, only to find the quite disturbing scene. Calla Cal Brown was chained inside the back of the container by her throat and ankles, laying to the top of dog beds, and Calop had put down for her. Next to her was a small set of plastic drawers where Calop kept snacks, books, an MP3 player for her. Essentially, Tom had created a makeshift prison for her.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is
Oh,
fucked up.
thank you for the hydrate, Jake.
It is fucked up. The case is fucked up. I will agree with you. When the officers got to her, Kayla told them that she had witnessed Charlie being murdered and that she had known Colehep. Kayla had been a housekeeper for Colehep and his real estate business, keeping the houses for sale clean. Kayla and Charlie had gone over to Coleb's home on his request that day because he'd asked for Charlie's help with some landscaping, something that Kayla really didn't do. Not long after they arrived, however, now, yeah, wait, Colehip shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest, wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in a tractor bucket, and then the hell for Kayla began. Kayla was trapped inside the shipping container for 2 months, being taken out 2 times a day to use the restroom and eat, and be used as Todd Colehip's sex slave. When Kayla was asked about what happened while inside the ambulance to get checked out, she revealed that Colehip, though a convicted sex offender, told her that he didn't believe in the R word, but made it very clear if I didn't do what he asked, he would have no use for me and shoot me. She also told police that he had told her he had killed many more people, and there were many bodies on the property. But if she was a good girl, Todd would take her on as his partner and teach her to kill with him. With Kayla's help, they were able to find Charlie's body. Well, most of it, anyways. Warning, gore is about to be discussed. There were 2 bits missing from the poor victim's body: his feet. Why?
This man was into feet?
Why? And that's my question here is why? Why? In all of this,
Why the feet?
why the feet? And it's never been explained. In fact, Colehep says that he has no idea what the police are talking about. But his feet were perfectly just cut off of his body, which we will get into the theory of what happened to them later. Colehip was apprehended on the same day, November 3rd, at his office in Spartanburg, where he still sold real estate. He confessed to everything, including not only the murder and kidnapping of Charlie Carver and the assaults and kidnapping of Kayla Brown, but he also admitted to the bike shop murders from 2003 and another set of murders that the police hadn't even connected to Colehip at all. The murders of John Joe Coxey and his wife, Megan Leigh McGraw Coxey. Allegedly, Megan had known Todd Colehip from working at a Waffle House he frequented while he was working at his firm. Through that familiarity, Colehip was able to try to get the two to assist him with home repairs on December 19th, 2015. Joe had allegedly been killed instantly, while his wife was killed on or around Christmas Day. Colehip did not say what exactly happened between the 19th and Christmas Day, but we can only guess that the same kind of things happened to her that happened to Kayla. The two were identified by their distinctive tattoos, otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to identify them at all.
Oh
So he
boy.
was able to murder
Wait, thank you for the
a
follow.
a whole bunch of people. He was able to murder a whole bunch of people, like straight up assassinated a whole bike shop, straight up killed just two people that he knew from the Waffle House, and then did all this stuff. And they did no connection was made, and there were so many times that he could have There were so many times he could have been caught, and the police just failed every single time. And it just blows my mind that they screwed up so badly. I just don't understand how how I don't understand how he slipped through the cracks with the bike case, because they had left messages and then they just left it alone. He didn't answer. He didn't answer, and they didn't even try to go find him or anything. They just were like, "Oh, whatever," and just left it. Like, I feel like not only could he have been helped in his childhood, but had the police actually done their job in the area where the shooting happened at the bike shop, none of the rest of these murders would have happened. So it's just unfortunate all the way around. It's just so infuriating. So
It it really is. Like, what frustrates me the most is just like you said, the incompetence of the police. I'm like, but what more can we say? But next slide. Upon further investigation, they uncover Carver's car in a red vine on the property, as well as the bodies of Charlie, Joe, and Megan. They found many illegally acquired weapons during their search, and tools glimmer all over property. But here's where he got his name. The strangest and most eerie thing that Keplov has been leaving reviews on products he's been using to murder his victims in sarcastic reviews on Amazon. He used me as his name, and it was clear as day it was Keplov by the context and the fact that he connected a wish list under his name to the same account.
big misstep. Big misstep.
This man's whole life has been a big misstep. What more is there? But there were reviews left on very padlocks used at the scene, starting solid locks on 5 on a shipping container. Won't stop them, but sure, will slow them down until they are too old to care. And another was left on a folding shovel stating Ah, keeping car when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full size shovel at home does not come. Nothing against short people and all, but come with a midget, which would have been nice. This man is just a shitty person.
Oh yeah, very shitty.
There were also others for gun stocks and chainsaws, believed to be what Todd may have used to cut off Charlie's feet. But why the feet? It still shocks me. Why
I
the
don't know.
feet?
I don't know why the
Though
feet.
the
I
sh-
just know that they took the feet.
though the chainsaw was never found, and neither were his feet. And Jay, I have all those on my Amazon cart. Understandable. Understandable. But Kellogg had claimed not only to his mother, but to Kyle Brown that he had killed many more people than had been found. Oh my, I love how he's bragging. Thank you for revealing that you killed more people that we could find. But when asked how many, he would say, more than you have fingers. Although police went through cold cases and tried to test his claims, no further connections were made between him and any other victims. Although Nicole Carter was cleared of any involvement about a month later, a day before she was arrested, Nicole had told police officers, excuse me, she was being harassed and that police were
People.
uh sending her nasty, vulgar messages online in relations to Charlie's disappearance. The police had told her to maybe look out of Facebook and ignore the posts. There was nothing illegal about the messages, and they wouldn't really do anything for her. She was arrested a few days after the discovery of Kyla Brown and the recovery of Charlie's body on November 8th for impersonating a police officer, which to me, I get why, but at the same time, it feels like a slap to the face. Honestly, it really does.
I
I,
mean,
I
they hadn't, to anyone's knowledge, tried to ping their locations at all, and still hadn't until what, I believe it was like a month later. So, as far as anyone knows, and this was only days before they found Kayla. It just
yeah,
it just seems messed up that they would charge her. I get why, because you're not supposed to impersonate a police officer. Never try to impersonate a police officer. Even in the case of trying to be a vigilante, it will get you in trouble every single time. It doesn't matter if your heart was in the right place or not. It just will. I just will. It bruises the ego or something. I swear. But don't do that. It is a very big offense, and you will get in a lot of trouble for it. So
yeah. But they hadn't, to anyone's knowledge, tried putting their location themselves, like you said, and still really haven't until as far as anyone knows. Days before they found Kyla Brown in a shipping container seems a bit harsh that they just couldn't let that one go. But I suppose maybe someone had a bruised ego.
yeah, like I was saying,
Ugh.
they just got mad that she had tried to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like again,
I don't know.
everything they have done has been so sloppy, but I'm surprised they got away this long.
Like, my first thought as a police officer would have been to ping their cell phones. Why didn't they do that in the beginning? That's my question here is Why did Nicole have to be the one to come up with the idea? Why didn't the police think to ping their cell phones? Yes, this was like, in the 2000s, but still, you could still ping cell phones. You could still figure out locations. You could still. It wasn't like it wasn't a known thing that you could do, so I still don't understand why it wasn't done. But I digress.
Yeah.
Kolip was charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of kidnapping related to the bike shop shootings and Brown's abduction. He was also charged with Charlie, Megan, and Joe's murders, alongside another count of kidnapping and 3 counts of weapon possession during a violent crime. He waived his right to appear and was then so and then was blah, blah, blah. He waived his right to appear in January of 2017 and pled guilty on May 26, 2017, to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of criminal sexual assault, and was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole in a plea bargain that ensured he would not receive the death penalty. Which, honestly, when you've done so, okay, so here's my opinion on the death penalty. There are certain things that I believe, and not everybody will agree with this. There are certain things that I will say that deserve the death penalty, and that uh, I believe that the things that he's done uh, constitute the death penalty. And I understand why it's there in a way. But I also hate the fact that people are just allowed to plea bargain down from these huge crimes. Like, this isn't like he did just one thing. He murdered, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4 people at the bike place, 2 people from the Waffle House, and Charlie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 people have been murdered. He's assaulted and hurt 2 other people. So we're up to 8 victims, plus the victims he claims that he has hurt that we have no record of, that we cannot figure out if he's telling the truth about or not. This to me screams the death penalty. And it's rookie number. I get that it's rookie numbers, but at the same time, it's the maliciousness of the crimes. It's the horrible maliciousness of the crimes that should also be taken into effect when they're sentencing. And I don't think that when you do something as heinous as this and crazy as this, you should be allowed to be able to plea bargain down. You should have to face the consequences. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what Sam's opinion is. Sam, what's your opinion?
On the death penalty?
On the death penalty in general, and on the death penalty in cases such as this in general.
Okay, I want to start with death penalty on cases like this. Uh, this man really deserves the death penalty. But on my personal opinion, I am 50-50 on the death penalty. Because like there's some cases in my honest opinion that people deserve to be on deserve death penalty, like the P word and
Mm.
Other and other heinous crimes. But at the same time, like it need to figure out but also there's some cases where the person has been accused of the wrong crime or they got the wrong person, they got the death penalty and died. They need to look more into that. So that's why I said my opinion is 50-50.
I feel like the appeals process is meant to prevent that, but we still have people slip through the cracks. So I can appreciate that opinion for sure. But I just feel like, in my opinion, that, honestly, in my opinion, the R word is worse than murder. And let me explain why I feel that way. When you are murdered, right? You're 86, you're gone, right? You don't know what's going on anymore. You're not suffering so much anymore. It is your family that's suffering, and that's very unfortunate and horrible. I will say that. But like I said earlier, when you're R worded, a lot of people don't recover from that. A lot of people spend the rest of their life scared and anxiety ridden and have PTSD, CPTSD, which is complex PTSD. They gain disorders they didn't have before. They can disassociate. It can be very, very hard for victims to live on after such heinous crimes, and especially violent ones and ones that involve the R word or a combined of the two, the combination of the two, it can be really hard. So I feel like, I don't know, in my brain, when I think about cases like this, like, while murder is awful, it's heinous, it's terrible, and it should never happen, I feel like leaving the victims alive to suffer is such a worse fate. It's so terrible and terrifying for the individual. It's probably an odd position to have, but that that's kind of how I feel about the difference between murder and the R word. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel about that.
You kind of described it, so we kind of have the same opinion.
Yeah, I feel like they've ruined their lives and now they have to go through the rest of their lives suffering, and it's horrible. But a lot of these cases where these people, they get away with, especially R word cases, a lot of people get away with it. They get away with it. And um I feel like that is a big issue in the criminal justice system that we need to combat, is taking victims seriously and taking the crime seriously. And I just feel like when you do something like that, you shouldn't be allowed to plea bargain. But anyway, um, to this day, Colehep is imprisoned in Broad River Correctional Facility. He maintains that he has killed many more people than what he's been charged with. Until her dying day, despite all the abuse she herself had inflicted on Todd, his mother Reggie kept downplaying all of his crimes. Be it regret for her own hand and how her son turned out, or trying to save face, we will never truly know for certain.
So, as of 2018 of August, Kyla was awarded $6 million from Todd's estate sale and the damages due to her kidnapping and abuse at the hands of the cold-blooded beast, a mere pittance in comparison to the $36 million she originally sued for mental damage, medical costs, psychological care, and for, well, pain and suffering. Although Kala has had a few run-ins with heartbreak, she seems to be doing well now and raising a daughter on her own, though the money will never be enough to heal the wounds of the past. We hope that Kala continues to do well in the future and able to put the cruel, heinous punishment that she was given at the hands of Todd behind her. So, what a case.
Right? What an awful, awful mess. Whew. That was a hard to process case.
Yeah, like it's I just straight up baffled. Like, honestly, I know that you were selling his estate and stuff, but who buy his the property and stuff where all this has happened?
You'd
Because
be
that's just like,
surprised. You'd be surprised as how how many people will gun for properties like that that murders have happened at? Like Lizzie Borden's home has been sold a handful of times. Um just people are fascinated with morbid things. They're fascinated by where crimes have taken place. They're fascinated by all sorts of stuff, be it because they like the paranormal aspects that may come with the property, or they just like the ability to say, I own such and such's house. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like that. But like
Yeah.
he owned 95 acres. So, um I mean that's a lot of property. I could see why somebody would want to. I personally wouldn't want to, knowing that somebody died there. Honestly, for me, that's bad juju. Bad juju. I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that. I am my religion is loosely Wiccan. It's like a eclectic path, like where I kind of take things from different parts and sects of Wiccan paganism and stuff like that. I guess I'm just like a solitary practitioner. And to me, I don't want to live in a house that somebody's gotten murdered in, because to me that's just this bad energy. But there's a lot of people that will just scoop up properties and be like, "Yeah, such and such happened here. This
Yeah,
murder happened
for
here."
like for murder tours and horror sites and stuff. Because I know
Yes.
those things were a thing. Like like the Marilyn Manson case and
You mean
stuff,
the
that mansion.
Charles Manson case?
Yeah, the Charles Manson. Sorry, why did I say Marilyn Manson? I'm done. Yeah, but the Manson stuff that happened. Yeah, like I remember, if I remember correctly, there was a like on those like famous tours and stuff. They'll just stop by that mansion. It's like, yeah, this is where this murder happened. Okay, next stop.
Hmm. People are obsessed with morbid things. I say that as somebody that is, I wouldn't say obsessed with morbid things for the sake of morbid things, but like obsessed with true crime. My obsession for true crime comes from the wanting to understand why people do the things that they do, to know what makes their brain tick, to understand why a serial killer does what they do, why that might happen. Is it a brain? Is it in the brain? Is it because they were abused? Is it because this? It's fascinating to me, but it's not a fascination in the same way that like fangirls fascinate, which I see a lot, and it's gross to me. Like people like Richard are like really gun ho about Richard Ramirez, and I'm just like, why? Why do you like him? Why do you think that that he's hot? They'll be like, oh, he's so hot. He was so attractive and stuff like that. I'm like, um
No.
he R-worded and murdered a whole bunch of people, and Richard Ramirez is a really weird person to have a crush on, because no offense to anybody who has dental issues, but this man had like rotted out teeth from side to side, didn't brush his teeth, didn't try to take care of himself. He stunk. Every single victim said that he stunk. Like, how is any of that attractive? But because it's this weird thing. There's this whole science behind it where like people are attracted to like bad boys or bad girls type of thing, and then it gets to this extreme level where like they're attracted to people like that. I don't understand it. I'd like to, so I could just be like, okay, I get it, but I just don't understand the appeal.
I like I said, I get you guys saying you like bad boys and stuff, but there's bad boys, then there's monsters.
There's monsters, and people
There's
that
no
are
in
in love with
between.
monsters are weird. Like people that went gaga over Ted Bundy. Dahmer even had a bunch of fanboys and girls.
Really?
Yeah, Dahmer had a bunch of fanboys and girls. I think Dahmer actually was never allowed to receive his fan mail though. They never let him have his, but he did. They would talk about it in interviews that he would get fan mail all the time, and they just didn't give it to him because they don't want to reward this guy. Like Jay said, he seems a little dangerous. Just have a little sex with him. Like that seems to be how these people are that are obsessed. But like that get to that level. But yeah, a lot of people are obsessed with the morbidity, with the paranormal, with the it could be a lot of things. But I personally wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to buy that property. I'm glad somebody did, because now Kayla has money and she deserves that money. I think she should have got more money than what she got. Honestly, 6 mil is not a lot for all the torture she endured and stuff like that. And they should have gave some money to the other families. I don't know why they didn't give money to the other families. That's another question to ask. Why weren't the bike shop victims given any money like their family? Why wasn't the Waffle House people, why weren't they given any money, their families? It's just weird to me. But I'm glad that like she was given something. She was giving some restitution through the sale of his property and all of his real estate properties.
Yeah. It's insane. Everyone should get compensation for this, but I'm guessing because this was the main headliner case, so they want to look good in the public eye, they gave just her the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because she filed a civil suit and the other ones didn't, and that was just it. That was the end of it. That might just be what it is. But I feel like just out of human decency, that they should have given them some sort of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they all deserve compensation for what this horrible man has done to them. It's like I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just baffled. Like, it's words. Because like again, like I said before, I think it just gave her the money and stuff, but also I think they didn't sell enough of his assets to give the other victims the money. Maybe. Maybe that's another speculation because, like you said, people will buy up some of this murderer stuff, but at the same time, there's those people that are like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I would be under the no thank you category. Although I wouldn't mind visiting like Lizzie Borden's house or something like that. Like, but I wouldn't want to stay there. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
like going to like say the murder museum and seeing like all the stuff in the murder museum. I would not want to stay there for a long period of time. I just feel like those places have a horribly bad energy. We should do some paranormal cases at some point too. That would be fun.
The Ed and Lorraine, the devil made me do it case.
Oh god, the devil made me do it is such a I am
Terrible movie, but the
obsessed.
case is
I
interesting.
didn't think the movie was that bad. Are you talking about the movie that's hooked into The Conjuring?
Yes. The Conjuring movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, sucks.
Yeah, you better be
But
sorry, Jay. You better be sorry.
what is he being sorry for?
He said somebody asked how old I was. Carl said that he thinks I'm 20. Jay said 57. And Carl said if she's 57 she can't laugh loud. And then he said sorry, ma'am. Jay said
Oh
sorry,
my.
ma'am to me. But yeah, the Conjuring movies I think were really good. I mean, they were really, really exaggerated for what happened with Ed and Lorraine, but like, I like them. But the weird part is, I don't particularly like the movies that involve Annabelle herself.
Annabelle seemed a bit too over exaggerated, but here's what Lorraine said. Lorraine said, basically, I'm okay with with the movies being over exaggerated because it at least brings fear up to the paranormal, so people don't jokingly mess with it.
Right, so they take it more seriously. Like putting that little bit of fear into somebody through a movie isn't going to hurt them, obviously. And it'll make them more mindful of things. Speaking of movies, I'm gonna go back to that slide for a minute of the institution he was in. I don't know who all watches Stranger Things. This institution was closed in like 1993, I believe. But I don't know who all here watches Stranger Things, but this building was used for the lab in Hawkins. Yeah, I really like the architecture of this building. It's really weird and just eerie.
Yeah.
It's the I can't tell where windows are, but you know windows are there. It's like a closed out. It reminds me of the Borg cube almost, if you want to be quite honest. But this was used for the Hawkins lab, where all that stuff happened in the first season and the second season.
Yes.
So that's a cool little tidbit, and that's where Todd was when he was a kid. He lived in this building for about 3 months. Yeah, it is cool and scary. It is cool and scary. Um, I like it. I really like it. I If I could draw things like this, I can draw. But when it comes to buildings and backgrounds, I suck. But this would be something to paint. This is a pretty cool building. Um,
Imagine Dragons, yes.
Imagine. What about Imagine Dragons? What about imagining the
Yeah,
dragons?
what about Imagine Dragons, Jay?
Oh, yeah, what about Imagine Dragons? Yes, I get the pun. It's cool and scary.
Imagine. But uh, but yeah, and plus with Stranger Things and stuff, soon the Stranger Things stuff should be all removed.
Yeah, I like the stranger stuff in Dead by Daylight
I hate that map.
though.
I
I don't
hate that
like the
map.
map.
I'm so glad that
I don't like the
y-
map. I don't like the map,
y-
but I like the
oh,
Demogorgon, and I like Nancy, and I like Steve. Ooh, he's screenshotting. Ooh, he's telling. He says he's screenshotting Sam's chat so you can see because you're a coward.
what? What? Wait, what?
Because the Imagine Dragons thing.
Yeah, he just.
Oh, imagine watching Stranger Things. Imagine
Oh, oh,
Dragons.
I just see it now.
Jake, I don't know who you are, but you shouldn't be dissing Stranger Things because it
Jake,
is
Jake.
an amazing show, and I don't know what you're thinking, but it is good. Just imagine not liking Stranger Things. But yeah, I liked it, and I'm like, really excited for the new DLC with this like inky crow like
Oh, the artist.
killer. Yeah, the artist. It's actually pretty neat. As an artist myself, it calls to me. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Oh, oh my God!
What?
We got a $50 dono.
Oh,
Oh,
who
whoa, whoa,
don't?
whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on, let me look. Let me look.
You ever donated $50 to the Extra Life Fund? Thank you so much.
Oh, it's Toxic Tomatoes. Toxic, are you still in here? If you're not, I'm gonna hit you up later. Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh, you're still there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now we are at, what are we at now?
Well, you
I can't,
reached a goal that you wanted to try to get.
yeah,
Wait, this.
I wanted to get to at least 100 tonight, and I did that through Jay, and now we're even further. We're at 155 out of 1K. That's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, you make me want to cry. As a chronically ill person myself, and knowing that this money goes to help little kids that can't really get help for themselves, or like their families might be struggling, or they just need better specialized care, knowing that we're gonna make a difference. I mean, like 1K doesn't seem like a lot, but that could go to like somebody's chemo
Yeah.
session, or I
Mm-hmm.
mean, every little bit counts.
But yeah, to answer stuff on my chat, I do not have a Patreon, but I do have a donation thing. Someone just one of my viewers is asking me if I have Patreon. I was like, no,
Oh,
just
yeah,
donation.
this donation thing is for a charity that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
she's doing a charity thing called Extra Life and stuff.
Yes, it's called Extra Life, and it benefits Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and like helps kids with different diseases and cancers and stuff like that. So um I don't know if Sam wants to throw that in his chat, but
I already did, but I'll do it one more time.
yeah. Um,
But yeah,
we are taking
Honey is
donations for November and December to bolster up Extra Life and bolster up Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
yes,
So
this we're
thank you
helping
so
out.
much.
Yes, we're helping it. She's helping the charity out, but I'm gonna help advertise it as best as I can to help her out. But yeah, please support Honey, this amazing badger.
Ooh.
But but also, yeah, I do have a donation thing. If you want to donate to me and stuff, do whatever. But right now, kids is what matters now. So
Yeah,
help donate to the
helping the
Extra
kids.
Life.
Definitely don't know to Sam if you want to though. Don't feel like because I said that you can't donate to Sam. I was just clarifying that like the difference between the two because I wasn't sure if I was clear about the one being for the kiddos and the one being for Sam. So, but there's no problem with donating to Sam too. Sam deserves all the donos because he is the best axolotl out there. Shh, don't tell all my other axolotl friends. Don't tell them.
I am the only axolotl.
That's not true. I have other axolotl friends.
Shh.
It's okay that you can't don't know. It's okay. There is no pressure
Didn't
to don't know.
say I didn't like it, ma'am. Oh yeah, Jake responded to you. I didn't say I didn't like it, ma'am. I just said I had no interest in watching the show.
That's fair. That's fair. Jay says, wait until Sam evolves into a salamander.
Nah. I'm staying as an axolotl. But there's this TED Talk video, which I highly recommend watching about axolotls, where this man saying axolotls can actually become a god monster.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember you saying that. I can't really say anything about honey badgers that isn't, like, weird or gross. So, here's some facts about honey badgers if you want to hear about facts about honey badgers. You're gonna laugh.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay, the weirdest one about honey badgers is when is when they feel threatened to like prolapse their butthole to scare off people.
Please don't use that to ever fight me. Please. That um
I found this out one day when I was looking up badger facts because I was like, well, maybe I can put in badger facts here and there. And then I looked and I was like, none of these facts are good. I don't want people to know these things. Like literally a honey badger will not only prolapse its butthole, right? To scare people off. Like if it's on top of a nest of bees and eating the honey, it will stay there until they sting it to death because they literally don't give a shit. That's where it comes from. Like they don't care. And those are the only badger facts you will ever know from me.
What the heck was that honk?
Honk for badgers.
No!
Honk if you like badgers.
Stop!
It feels good to laugh after that serious case, though.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you have... Jay says, I have one slightly smaller tentacle than the others. Guess why?
Why?
I'm afraid now. Oh no, Toxic says just imagine that in a Pokemon-esque battle that, like,
Oh no.
Honey Badger uses Prolapse Butt.
Oh my god. I'm petrified. I am petrified too.
If you see Finding Nemo, Pearl the octopus mentions he has one tentacle that's slightly smaller than the others. It's his penis.
Um, I love how we went from talking to serial killers and now we're talking about prolapse
But
asses.
perhaps badger buttholes and octopus penis. Welcome to Casual Geographic. No, I'm just kidding. Our new show, Casual Geographic, where we'll talk about the weird and horrible things about animal characters that we embody. Live!
Yep, this is the after hours of Whispers of the Deep.
I can't, I'm sorry. Oh.
Sam, some strange VTubers other than the cutie core. Oh yeah, the cutie core Yugars are the most tamed VTubers I know. Outside of the cutie cores, I know another axolotl that I became her plaything by accident, but we don't talk about that. And then there's Honey here. And then I know Jay, who's in the chat, and Mango, great doggo waifu, and great moderator.
Puppy! I love you, puppy! Oh no, Jay says stay tuned for the next battle between the honey badger and the octopus. The prolapsed anus versus the slightly smaller tentacle. Tetris will never be the same.
God. Jay's the one that helped me in the.
Wait, does that mean that your chat thinks that I'm the weirdest VTuber that you've ever collabed with?
No.
No, I'm not.
Honestly, you are not.
I'm surprised. I'm a little weird and chaotic.
Oh yeah, you told me about the art you commissioned. Yeah, that is. I'm forced to call her this because we made a deal. Mommy Soul. Me and her made a commission together.
Ooh.
Wait, what you mean, Abyss?
Oh no, what about your art project, Toxic? Do you have an art project you have to do? You better get on it. I have art commissions I still need to do, but I've been so swamped with writing, it's ridiculous. I feel so bad because I haven't gotten to them.
If
Oh,
you
you're working on something for me? Aww.
if you want to add that bot Abyss up, talk to my admin Zodi about that.
You're so sweet, Toxic. I'm sure whatever it is, whenever you get it to me, it'll be great. I still need to finish your coloring up your stuff, but I have to finish paid commissions first before I can go back and color the doodles that I did for everybody. I still have so many to do. Well, not so many. I have Jay and my friend Moose, and I'm forgetting someone. I'll remember in a second.
You'll figure it out.
I'll
I
figure it
feel
out.
that way.
Anonymous, yes, I haven't seen him in a while. I talked to him like a week ago. I hope he's doing okay. If you see this, Moose, I love you, and I hope you're doing okay.
Have you seen this move? Good. Now you have.
Boom, now you have. But yeah, gosh, that case was terrifying. Hopefully the next case will be a little bit less heavy.
But we need to figure out what our next case
Yeah, we need to
is.
figure out what case we should do next.
I think I have an idea, but we should discuss that when we're done
Yeah, we
streaming.
should discuss that when we're all done.
Yes, of course.
Ooh, Jay's got a riddle for me. What is your riddle?
Riddle us, you riddler.
Riddle me piss. What is the difference between Sam and a submarine?
I'm scared of where this is going.
One is submersible and breathable. Ah!
And the other is submissive and breedable.
Ah!
I love you, Jay. I love you.
Get the maid outfit back on.
God, you want me to get the maid outfit out? Fine, I'll pull it out.
Oh, God.
Actually, you know what? You know what? I don't know if I should take out the maid outfit.
Submersible and breathable.
What's the?
He's got the best dad puns. He can't be
I have
stopped.
I have competition day with dad jokes day with Jay because I
Oh
do dad
my
jokes all the
God.
time.
What if you guys did, like, do you guys, okay, I might be too old, or Jay might remember this at least, when Will Valderrama, who played Fez on that 70s show, used to have his own show on MTV called Your Mama, where they had a diss fest back and forth. What if you guys did, like, a pun
Dad joke
competition?
off.
Dad joke off. Wait, don't call it that. That sounds weird.
What dad joke off?
A dad joke off. It sounds way too close to jack off.
Well, I've been meaning to text Jay because I forgot that I did tell him that one day I want to collab with him. So this may be one of the collabs we do, or just be, and get also a day where all three of us are together
Yeah,
and bully you for being a land animal.
I think Jay said that he can't do a show until after the holidays, but I'm not.
Understandable. Holidays are
Well, because he's
hectic.
got something to do this month, and then the next month is the holidays. But after the new year, hopefully we'll be able to get Jay on the show, who is our psych expert, and he's gonna join us every once in a while. And he's going to give his perspectives. Oh, you'll be able to join us by the second or third week of December. Ooh. When's our next show?
Ooh.
Our next show is actually this month. We have one. No. We're skipping the 24th, right? Because
Yeah, we're skipping that Christmas week.
well, Thanksgiving week, right? So the
I
next.
must say, actually, I can't do Thanksgiving week if it comes to it.
I mean, it's the 24th. It's like the day before Thanksgiving.
I don't have family coming this Thanksgiving
Oh,
because
okay.
of Louisiana being messed up and stuff. Their school scheduling got messed up too, so they only have the day of Thanksgiving free.
Okay, so tentatively the next show will be the
And yes, Jake.
24th of November, and then after that the next show would be the 8th if we did the 24th, because we do it every other week, so we give ourselves enough time to get all the information together
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
which I am 100% down doing it the 24th and stuff because right now I don't know because if my football team at my uni wins one more game, we're eligible to do a bowl game, and I don't know when the bowl game is going to be. So for now, we could just keep on doing how we have it planned, and until I figure out when my bowl game is,
Yeah. If you
we'll work
can't do
around
the
that.
24th, we'll just reconvene.
Oh no, that Thanksgiving we had that entire week
Okay,
off.
so you can do the 24th.
Yes, I could do the 24th. I don't have family coming over this Thanksgiving because
Okay.
of the hurricanes of Louis that destroyed Louisiana. Are you part of the Learn Slower Than Us pro LSU? I love that, Jay. But actually, funny enough, my university beat LSU. They paid us almost $1 million to come for their homecoming to give us the spotlight, even though they said they were going to beat us, but we beat them. And we walked away with almost $1 million. So fun fact, my uni beat LSU my freshman year, which was on 2017. No, I am not going to dox myself because my uni is kind of
Yeah,
I will say
no
it's
telling people where we live or anything like that. I have
I,
that risk, but you do not, so
yeah.
don't do that to yourself.
All I will say is it's in the South. Jay tried doxing. Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to dox
In the
you.
dirty,
Oh,
dirty South. I'm sorry. Continue.
but yeah, until I can figure out more. But yeah, that Thanksgiving I have also
All
able
right.
to do that, and the bowl game, if we do get bowl game eligible, it'll be sometime in December. So until I figure out more, we'll just play everything by ear until I figure out what the day is.
Okay. All right. So, for those of you listening that want to come back the next time, put us on your calendars for the 24th,
24th.
the day before Thanksgiving. And we'll be here with another case. Uh, Thank you to everyone who showed up. We really
Yes,
appreciate it.
I love all of you that showed up and supporting us for
Heck
our
yeah,
little project. This project that we've been wanting to do. Well, I can't really call it a project anymore. This podcast that we've been so desperately wanting to try out and stuff.
yeah. We weren't really sure how it would be received, and it seems like
You are liking it.
we are doing a lot better than I expected. That's for sure. Because what we were up to, at least on my end, we were up to like 10 viewers today,
I
and
was I was at 10 viewers at max when I was streaming.
yeah, so we're getting there. I'm so excited. I love this. I
I
love
know.
this thing, this little podcast that we've created. Um, but yeah, next case I promise won't be as heavy.
Or tried not to
You try
be,
not to
depending
be.
on
I
what
mean,
we
it
try
is
to
true
figure out.
crime. It is true crime. So like, I mean, you know.
We'll whatever case we do, we'll figure it out because I have two in mind. One might be a tiny bit deep, and the other not as deep as this case. So I'll discuss that there. But I guess should we call it an end here?
Uh, yeah. Unless you got more more stuff that you've got to get out and stuff like that. If you want to do your end promos and stuff like
Oh
that.
let's do that. So everyone on Honey Stream, I am the great axolotl detective Sam Nudie, and soon I might be getting a promotion to a special type of detective sooner or later. And you can follow me at Twitch Sam_Nudie, and you can follow me at my Twitter, which is with a capital S and a capital N with no spaces or anything, Sam Nudie. And Honey convinced me to make one, but I have a TikTok.
Yeah, for clips and stuff like that.
Yo, which is Sam_Nudie as well. So if you want to see clips of my past, and you can see how I began too as a VTuber, there's clips of those on there too.
Yeah, I gotta get
And
better at uploading on my TikTok. I need to stop
ironic
being lazy.
with the I only posted 9 videos, and like in one, I think like 2 days, like I like 22 followers now.
Nice. Very cool. Very, very cool.
But it's just to help promote me more and stuff for so that's why I have a TikTok. But other than that, I am very active on Twitter, and I am and also I have a Discord too, which you can find the Discord link basically in my pinned tweets on my Twitter. So if you want to join my Discord, you're more than welcome. Everyone's welcome. The my Discord server is mainly for people to feel nice, safe, and have fun and play video games with each other. Because you'll occasionally see me hop on in my general voice chat playing Day by Daylight or whatever games with people on the server. So always come and check out join the server and come play with me.
Yeah, 'cause playing with Sam is fun. It's fun times. I like playing Dead by Daylight with Sam.
Including would I eat you to the killer and get out on my own?
I mean,
But
I mean, I have also yeeted you to the killer and got
yeah,
out.
so it's 50-50.
It's
Oh yeah, and
50-50.
also I did forget one more thing to link. I also have a YouTube, which is Sam Nudie, of course, which I upload the episodes of this of our podcast, I should say, so this. And clips and memes that were made by, of course, my favorite moderator, my doggo waifu. Literally, I made a role dog waifu for Mango. But so yeah, and also check out Mango, my great moderator. She's also a VTuber.
Puppy Mango! Mango Puppy!
Yep. Now I'm gonna pass up the theoretical mic over on her table. Your table?
Yeah, alright.
Oh my!
My name is Hunnie B. And if you liked listening to my crazy banter and chaoticness, even through this serious podcast, because I can't ever 100% be serious, because that's just not how I am. I play a lot of games, horror, first person shooter, horror. Did I mention
Horror.
horror? Uh,
Also, wait, you forgot the best part.
horror.
Horror.
Um,
Which I'm kind of the same way too, because I play a crap ton of horror. I play mystery games and first person shooters.
yeah, I play Tetris. I play other retro games. I'm really big in Nintendo
Wow, we
games.
got grandma here
Animal
playing Tetris.
Animal Crossing game stuff. Happy Home Paradise. What else? I draw. I do
Oh
art
yeah.
streams.
I still
Um,
need to buy a capture card so I can start streaming my Switch, because sooner or later I'm going to buy Animal Crossing. And how much is that expansion pass?
the expansion packs is 25. The game itself, I believe, right now is like only $10 if you get it used for the
Yeah, I'm going
cartridge.
to get it used, but yeah, soon whenever I get a capture card too, I'm going to be streaming also Animal Crossing and Pokemon Unite.
Yes, I
And
want to stream collab with you for Pokemon Unite. I'm
yes,
so excited.
I need to get one of my mains, because I bought one main and stuff. Then I was like, okay, I need my number one main, which is
Yeah,
Garchomp.
yeah.
I
My
bought Gardevoir. And yeah, we need to include Mango on this too,
yeah,
because Mango also play.
Mango. She plays Animal Crossing and she plays Pokemon Unite. We should do an Animal Crossing stream one night of just like hanging out and having fun and stuff too.
Yeah, of course.
But
And
yeah,
also critique me on my island wherever I probably make that, because I'm gonna try to get Animal Crossing in suspension like probably Sunday.
okay. That would
But
be cool.
I still need to find a good capture card that I'm not spinning an arm and a leg on too. So
Good, good, good. I got the Elgato, so
yeah, which is like over $100.
yeah, it was like 180.
Because I found one, but I read up on that looks good, but I read up on reviews and no. But I did find like one that's $49.99. But
Well, I hope it works for you.
oh yeah, Jay, if you do, send me that. Yeah, send me that link, Jay, for the capture card you used, and that will be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So, when it comes to my socials and stuff, though, it's you can find me on Twitter at Hunnie HUNNIEB _V tuber, for Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I think YouTube might just be Hunnie B though. But you can find me all of those places. Eventually, I'll link my Discord. I'm still in the process of like switching it over from my old server into a new server kind of deal. But I also want to build a fun community where people just can come and like play games with each other and whatnot. Um, so yeah, you can find me most places at HUNNIE, so Hunnie B _ VTuber. Um, and if you liked listening to my crazy ass tonight, slam that follow button on Twitch. Bam, 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 bam. I want to get to 200 by the end of the end of the year. So if you liked what you heard, smash that follow. But other than
Eh,
that, I
yes.
guess that's it.
Also, smash that follow button on me too,
Yeah, smash the follow
because
button.
I'm literally 9 away from 200 followers.
9 away. We gotta get Sam to 200. We gotta get Sam to 200.
Yeah, I gotta think of something special for 200 because it came so fast. Like I've been only VTubing for like I think 7 months now.
I started in August.
I started in May because I wanted to stream Resident Evil Village, and now here I am as a VTuber. Because when I first started off, I was shy, faceless streamer and stuff, but now here I am a VTuber. Everyone says Bondo.
I like VTubing though because
Oh
like
yeah, I love it too. Like it literally brought me out more confidence. I met so many amazing people like you, Mango, and Jay, and so many other people that so much more. And then of course the viewers that follow me like follow me on everything.
it's a great community. To answer your question, Toxic, yes, Sam is going to be part of the crab games. I am going to make a post tomorrow to make sure that I try to get a head count of everybody that wants to do it.
And finally come
Um,
up with a date and
and come
time.
up with a date and time and stuff like that. I know Yan wants to do it. You want to do it. Sam wants to do it. I think Mango said she wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, add Mango to it
Confetti,
because
I
Mango will be
believe,
down.
said that she wanted to do it. Jay said that he wanted to do it. So we just gotta get a date that works for everybody,
Yeah.
basically.
Because I just like playing with friends and
Yeah,
make new friends too with collabs and all, and just have fun with people. That's all I really want to do, and also become big enough so I could do better in charity streams and
yeah,
all.
yeah. That's a big goal of mine too, is to get big enough so I can do charity streams too and get back to different communities, different places, because this world is a scary place, and we
Yes,
need to help everybody.
and also try to become into a VTuber group that isn't as crazy as V Star situation.
Oh God, V stars. I feel bad for everybody. Just oh God, that whole thing. Ugh,
Oh,
it was so bad.
it was terrible. But other than that, that's all I have to say.
Yep. So again, thank you everybody. Thank you to Jay and Toxic for donos. Your
Yes,
donos were awesome. To the
much
Extra Life. Yes,
appreciation.
much appreciate you. Much love. And then like we were saying earlier, if you liked what you saw, hit the follow button on me and hit the follow button on Sam. And we will be back the 24th of November, day before Thanksgiving, with another true crime podcast.
Yes, and let's see if we can get Honey to 200 followers by the end of the year, and let's see get me to 200. We'll try soon, since I'm only 9 away, which is insane.
Yes! We can do
But
it. We can do it.
yes, we could do it. We got each other's back. We got this.
Heck yeah. All right.
But other than that, bye bye.
Love you all. Stay safe and goodbye.
But for my